Hangout. I am Esther Mokwariola. Today on the program, President Tinubu's Senate order manhunt for killers of the 16 officers and soldiers in Delta State as troops comb warring communities. Federal government laments over blackout despite 65% electricity subsidy, warns discourse against non-performance. And later on the show, Manchester United dump Liverpool out of the FA Cup in a 7-goal thriller. I will be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kayode Balogun, while Miena Kiri joins us later for sports. Journalist Hangout starts now. Right, the holy month of Ramadan is defined by devotion and dedication to God, as well as sharing of love and compassion for the needy. In that spirit, the Yobe state government says 16,800 vulnerable and less privileged Muslims will benefit from its daily iftar, which is feeding program during the Ramadan fast. The State Commissioner for Religious Affairs and Ethical Reorientation, Yusuf Umar, explained that the Ramadan feeding program will gulp more than 100 million naira. Mr. Yusuf said that the government has expanded the feeding centers from 67 to 84, and each center is expected to feed at least 200 people daily. BKO is a good way to start the Ramadan fast, wouldn't you say, or wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I agree. At this time that our people are going through a lot, then we've had Ramadan. I've heard people say, fasting has come to meet fasting, which is a way of saying that, look, there's already hunger in the land, and then the fasting season has come. And that's the more reason governors have to step in and help assuage the pains that our people are going through. We cannot deny that at this time people are going through a lot. Whatever effort that anyone makes is not to be discountenanced. I've heard people say, what can a carton of Indomie do? Nigerians just like to talk. Every Nigerian has an opinion, even on issues that they are not qualified to talk about. They have an opinion. That everyone wants to say something. People who are privileged, who can afford 3 square meals and even more, will not know that for some people, they can't even afford a meal in 2 days. It's the truth. And even God recognizes the fact that amongst us, there will be poor people. That's why he admonishes us to be kind, to show mercy and empathy towards the poor, because he knows that all of us can't be comfortable.
Right.
You know? So, is the most vulnerable in the Yobe communities that are targeted. It's not everybody. It's not everybody. What we want to see is for our governments to be responsive, for our governments to bear every segment of our society in mind in coming out with programs. There are some programs that will benefit the upper crust of the society. There are programs that are meant for the Lazarus stratum of society. The Lazarus stratum of society is the poorest, is at the base. And these are the people that we are talking about. We are not saying, look, share rice to everybody, share. We are talking about the people who live for the day. The people who do not know where their next meal will come from. So when people write all that stuff on social media is a leveler. Everybody goes there to express an opinion, whether it makes sense or not. You know, people don't care. The privileged people, they can say all kinds of things on TV. You know? We live in an age where people can abuse the president and get away with it. Try that during Abacha's time.
Babangida?
Huh?
Babangida's
Try that during Abacha's time. And pay with your life. So this is, I appreciate what the Yobe State governor has done, and this is a man who has done a lot, even before now. We are seeing governors ramping up efforts. I know the president spoke with them, but we have also not left them alone here because we know that they have the resources. Look at what the Kaduna governor has done today. Palliative initiatives costing in the realm of 11.4 billion naira. He's come up with it. And some of them are meant to help people start small businesses that will put food on their tables. Governments need to do this for our people. It's not too much to do for our people. This is my view, and the example of Yobe, I expect other governors. People are telling me that the governor of Osun State has not done something like this. Maybe he's watching me. Maybe he has no time to watch me. But the people who work for him, if they are watching, they should fear God. They should do what other governors are doing.
Right. GKB, indeed this is about Ramadan, but what about after Ramadan? Should this also be looked at in terms of, BKO raised the issue of the vulnerable, the poorest of the poor, while this is being made for them. But after Ramadan, what happens? Do they go back to their old lives? What are your thoughts?
I'm sure you are aware of the national register for the people at this level. And I expect that states and local government will do the same. Personal left to me, this should be done more by the local governments. Because on paper, they're supposed to know everybody that's vulnerable under their watch. So I have nothing against being done by state or federal government, but to me, this will have far more impact if it's done at the lowest level of government. But having said that, you must understand that Ramadan is not just another month. It's a very special month. And for the Muslim Ummah, it doesn't matter the condition they are. And my late mom, no matter what the doctor will tell her about age or ulcer or whatever, will still go ahead and fast at the ripe age of 100 years. So it's beyond the food. It's the camaraderie. It's the community elements. And it's not all over the world, even in Saudi Arabia. Apart from government, even very rich people will go out of their way and open their doors. In fact, this is the only time people will see the inside of the houses of some very prominent people. Because for 30 days, you have complete access to come in. I know some state government does that as well. They open all their state houses. Anybody wants to walk in, within reason, allowed to come in and partake in the iftar, as it were. So I expect that we'll use this as an opportunity to create a register at the lowest level of governance. Because I keep saying people say this because you have the opportunity to go. I said, no. The place I go to in London, for many years, the constable knows me. Because the first day he saw me, he said, I don't know you. Where do you live? Anytime I go back to that neighborhood, he will greet me. He may not remember my name, but he will say, hey, I know you. You were not here last year. We should create the community at that level to take care of the vulnerable. I have nothing against the state government doing it, or the federal government. I still believe that if we could take it down to the city hall, or city council, or local government, it will be far more effective going forward.
I agree absolutely with GKB, and that's why the governor of Ekiti State released 300 million naira to local councils and said, look, go and buy palliative grains for people. So because he knows that they will have greater penetration than if the state were to handle it. So it is through those local governments, he has released money. You people should go and get these grains, and distribute. And it's the same thing that the Kogi governor has done. In fact, one of the local government chairmen who diverted his own, the Kogi governor immediately sacked him. So, because how do you do that?
Indeed.
Something meant for the vulnerable, you are diverting. I mean, this is the height of callousness. And that's why many people always think, these things will not go to the people who need it the most. Because the devious people amongst us Some of them, they have more than enough. They still want to steal from those who do not have enough. It's appalling.
So in a nutshell, this should go beyond celebration or marking of the Ramadan.
Of course, if you see what the Lagos State Governor has done, he has not planned it for Ramadan. It's going to go on and on and on.
The Sunday market.
The Sunday market is not for Ramadan. The transport subsidy is not for Ramadan. The free maternal care for
the elderly
is not for Ramadan or not for Muslims. So some states have been doing this even before the advent of the Ramadan. And I'm confident that they will continue. Some of the states, Yobe, Borno, and the rest of them, Kwara, they had been doing it even before Ramadan came. And I don't expect that because Ramadan has ended, they will now stop. Oh, of course, hunger will not stop with the departure of the Ramadan. Hunger will remain until things improve generally.
All right, let's quickly move on to our next issue of discussion, where the outrage over the brutal killing of 16 officers and soldiers of the Nigerian army in Delta State is still palpable. Outraged by the killing, President Bola Tinubu and the Senate ordered the military to apprehend the killers of the personnel who were on a peace mission to Okwama community in Ogele South local government area of Delta State. And in a statement, the president directed the military to immediately arrest the perpetrators. GKB, there has been lots of reactions that trailed this incident that happened on Thursday or thereabout, and now the president has come up with a statement that those who were found guilty should be fished out. But in all of this, what steps can be taken to ensure swift justice for the soldiers while de-escalating the tensions that already is in Delta, and perhaps to avoid that part of Delta, to avoid any retaliatory violence, as it were?
Well, this is a slippery slope, really, and it's something that we have to be careful. But the president's order is clear and ambiguous. In fact, that the president has even given the order to me is a statement after the facts. The military high command, they know what to do. Just like when you kill policemen, the police high command know exactly what to do. Because perception is power. And there's no way you can allow people to take on the best of our best and do this to them like chickens and get away with it. So even without the presidential order, it's obvious that any soldier, any officer, any commander, what is saw, will not allow these slights to go scot-free. Like it has been done before in Nigeria. It may be done excessively. But what we are going to discuss now is the appropriate response.
Right.
What's the appropriate response to this kind of malady that is now affecting Delta that was for so many years very quiet? Once they've done the thing they did for the militants. But things are rearing their eyes again between the major tribes in that part of the state. So the thing we need to do is what the president has done. I expect swift retaliation. And I'm not using retaliation lightly. I'm talking about bringing those who are responsible to book without necessarily creating excessive collateral damage. That's the fine line between getting results and going for revenge. They are professionals. Most of them have been doing this all their lives. I'm sure that all things being equal, with the total support of the president, I'm sure whoever did this will be caught in the next few days.
BK, are you in support of this, or do you think perhaps there should be other strategies to adopt here in this resolution?
Well, what will limit the pains that will come with the animalistic behavior of those who kill these servicemen is for the community to release the culprits to the military. If they wait for the military to find them by itself, there will be collateral damage. Innocent people will die. Innocent people will die. And this is what happens when there is crisis and it doesn't get named in the board on time. Because I'm seeing some level of similarity in this particular incident and what happened in Zaki Biam. In the case of Odi, they abducted policemen. They told them to release the policemen.
They refused.
They asked for ransom. Ransom was paid. And after ransom was paid by government, they released the corpses of 14 policemen. That was an act of provocation. You provoked the Nigerian state. The rest is history. The army claimed that it was ambushed on its way to the... No, I cannot say whether indeed they were ambushed, but there was anger over the way those policemen were treated, you know, and the president was very angry at that time, President Obasanjo. In the case of Zaki Biam, it was a communal crisis. One of the groups thought that the soldiers who came to the community were actually their enemies dressed in army fatigue. So they killed those soldiers, 19 of them led by a captain. In this case, the crisis is between the Ijaw-speaking Okoloba community and the Urobo-speaking Okoma people. So in two local governments, Bomadi for the Ijaws, Ugeli South, for the Urobo. My suspicion is that they also felt that the people, yes, that they felt that those guys had not come to make peace. I'm not making a case for them. Whoever kills Nigerian servicemen must be ready to pay for it. And what the president said is very clear. There's no president worth his name who would take this kind of matter lying low. There's nowhere that it is done. I gave the example of the American airman that was downed during the Bosnia War. They did everything to find him in the wilderness where the ejector of his aircraft landed him. And they took him to safety and organized a befitting reception for him at the Air Force Base. We must treat servicemen with utmost reference because they lay their lives on the line for you and I. You need to see pictures of servicemen with their legs blown up by IEDs in the Northeast. And they're doing this for everyone so that the rest of us can be safe. We feel comfortable even when we are traveling. We feel like urinating when we are traveling. We try to drive to where there is a checkpoint. We feel comfortable, okay, there's a checkpoint here. You then unzip your trouser and let it fly. How many people would do that without a hint of a security operative? I mean, so you kill them, you dismember them, just the same way, you know, as if the same madness that came upon those people in Zaki Biam came upon these people. Because in the Zaki Biam incident, that time, that was not the period when we had phones with video capability and all that. But there are pictures. He got a long knife and disemboweled one of the soldiers. And those pictures, man.
They're gory.
Yes. In this case, they even took their heads away. You beheaded people and took their heads away. So there's no provocation
It's an act of war.
Yes, there's no provocation bigger than that. What do you want to do with their heads? Some you cut their arm or cut one of the legs. What is their offense? For coming to protect people? Look at the commander, A.H. Ali. He's been to the most difficult places in our country. Buhari is probably the most dangerous part of Nigeria today. He served there. Courageous officer. Served in the northeast. Now sent to Operation Delta Safe. And then he didn't want to lead from the back. He led
From the front.
his people. Yeah. He led his troops. 2 majors, 1 captain. The rest of them soldiers. Because they don't call officers soldiers. You know, we just call everybody soldier, but that's not, you know, if 5 people died and 1 of them is an officer, they will say 1 officer and 4 soldiers. You know, so that's their tradition, but we like to call everybody soldier. Now, you killed everybody that appeared on the scene, all those soldiers, and took away their weapons. Now the mandate is recover those weapons. We don't want those weapons to be used for economic sabotage or for kidnapping people and all that. Those weapons that they took away, recover. Apprehend the people behind this kind of animalistic behavior. Apprehend them so that it sends a clear message that this will not be tolerated.
But also, let me also bring to mind that the CDS also mentioned that some people were arrested, and it was expected that at least these individuals that were arrested would have been arraigned in court according to, you know, a lawyer giving his own perspective on this issue. And then we saw the reprisal that happened yesterday, on Sunday, yes, yesterday. But 2 wrongs, they say, doesn't make it right.
Arraigned in court when?
Maybe today, perhaps. That is his own. That is his own perspective.
You people listen to people say absolute rubbish. I'm sorry to say. When did they complete investigation? Won't you complete investigation before taking people to court? You've got to investigate. When arrests are made, it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is guilty. It doesn't necessarily mean that that person is good enough to be taken before a court.
It may just be a person of interest.
Some arrests are made to help you in your investigation. It is when you have completed investigation that you now bring people before a court of law. These guys were killed on Thursday night. Their corpses were only just recovered on Saturday.
Afternoon.
So already they want people to be taken to court. Maybe the person that you listened to wanted them to be arraigned on a Sunday morning. Absolute trash. Won't they do some investigation before arraigning people? Some of the people could even be innocent. That's where the white people are different from us. Before they take you before a court, they will probably have a prima facie case against you because they don't want you to escape. They will have built a watertight case before you and then take you before a court of law. If they don't have concrete evidence, they don't do like us here, that we will first arrest people, put them on trial, and start investigation. And that's why many people escape the snare of the law, because you have not investigated well. You have not done due diligence. They don't want people. There are people who merely express opinion, whether they are lawyers or whatever. There are all kinds of people in our country. There are people who don't even want arrest to be made in this matter. Do you know? Some people don't want arrest to be made at all. They want the matter to just be left like that. Oh, they want to take us back to the Obasian era, where life was short and brutish.
Even the United Nations.
So what would you propose in this case?
Do you know how many people were taken to Guantanamo Bay?
Because this is not the first.
They take people to Guantanamo Bay. How many of them were eventually put on trial, and how long? You have to investigate. When you have a watertight case, you want them to investigate within 24 hours. Delta State government just issued a statement yesterday. And the killings had happened since Thursday
night. Yeah.
So when you even want to take people to court, do the court sit on Sundays? When did he make his claim?
How about today?
He made the claim today.
No, I mean, how about today? Arraigning the suspects today in court. Is it still legal to have any of this matter being treated, if at all?
You are probably thinking like that person. It's not worth it.
So,
I've already explained to you that they must do a thorough.
It's not possible.
You see, before you can take people before a court, and it's not even the military that takes people to court, it's the police. When the military, when they don't understand process, but they still have an opinion still. The military will do its investigation and hand over the case
To the police.
they are not soldiers that you can take before a court martial. They will still do their investigation and then hand over to you. You want all of that to happen within under 24 hours? I mean, let's be realistic, for God's sake.
There's no way on earth that this will happen and people will look away. There must be consequences.
That's what they want to see.
Even the United Nations, peacekeepers in some of the worst places in the world, go out of their way to protect their soldiers. Because what they do is that the moment these soldiers are armed or killed, the UN knows what to do to make sure they do what they have to do. Not everything will be done in black and white. But Nigerians have this mentality of assuming they know everything. This is a military matter. The military will take their sweet time. Because they are talking about some of their best officers.
Yes.
And they are not going to rush it. So that's why I keep saying that is what we don't want to happen. Is the collateral damage. But there will be damage. It's a given. Because these are soldiers.
Yes. Even America during the Gulf War, the innocent people not die in their hands.
The new head of Panti, Ahmed Latif, who just came back from Somalia, when he lost soldiers, the UN told him, do what you have to do. And that's the UN. Not to talk of federal government or something. So sometimes we talk too much, or we talk for the sake of talking.
Yes, no, you just put the microphone in somebody's front, you just start hearing all kinds of things.
It's unfortunate.
If you are not conversant about an issue, button up your mouth. You don't have a gun to your neck that you must talk. The Nigerian thinks he has opinion over everything. He has an opinion over everything. No. The way to make yourself look stupid is to go and talk about matters that you don't understand. And people have found it difficult to put aside their political affiliations in offering an opinion. And that's why people, these days, there are people who have even switched off from watching television. Because every time they watch, they see an individual who is a bag of ignorance, simply saying all kinds of things. Those guys were killed. They were killed Thursday night. Even the military didn't recover their corpses until Saturday. We had only Sunday. Sunday is not a working day. And they are still making arrests. They've not finished making arrests. You are talking of arraignment. Arraignment where? In your back street court or what? Arraignment will happen when they have made sufficient arrests. When they've made arrests, they will now do some sifting. Some will be left to go. Others who the suspect have case to answer will be the ones that will go to court. They can arrest 200 people. More than half of those ones will be released. Only the people that they believe have a case to answer. Those are the people that will go to court. And we must give them time. We must give them time to do a thorough investigation rather than stampede them, take people to court. Even if they take them to court, the court would still send them to prison. They will go to prison because this is not just a civil matter. It's murder.
Criminal matter.
There is no judge that will be in a hurry to release a person arraigned for murder. So what that lawyer wants to see, he may not even still see it, even if they take them to court. But you can't rush people to court when you've not completed investigation. If he's talented at conducting investigations, let him join the police and help us.
All right, let's quickly go on a very quick break. You're still on to Journalist Hangout. We'll have more discussions coming your way in just a moment. Just stay with us.
This Tuesday on Journalist Hangout, Dr. Abel Damida founder and president of Able Ministries, is our guest.
The problem is many Nigerians who are Christians do not have faith in Jesus.
Join the charismatic preacher live on Journalists Hangout as he talks about his philosophy, Christianity, and national issues.
If I go to church where people are not taught to love, all the emphasis is fall and die, judgment, be roasted.
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It counts down to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
What does Tinubu have that other 17 candidates do not have?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations, and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m., where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Now, it beats logic how subsidies provided by the government on certain products are usually counterproductive in Nigeria. The federal government is lamenting over blackout across the country despite 65% electricity subsidy. As such, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has warned that power distributor companies, DISCOs, that reject electricity allocated to them by the Transmission Company of Nigeria will be dealt with. Adelabu said non-performance of DISCOs in terms of epileptic power supply is the basis for revocation of licenses. The minister stressed that non-performing DISCOs will be fished out and sanctioned. GKB, what are your thoughts on this and how believable, if I say, is this statement, or rather perception?
Well, I said this last week and I'll say it again. Nigerian government officials should stop telling us what they are going to do. They should do it. We know the DISCOs that are not performing. We know what they do. In my area, some people are on 1 day on, 1 day off, simply because the DISCO said that their vendor cannot supply the parts because they've not paid him for what he supplied 3 years ago. People are suffering for your incompetence. Not because there was no power to distribute, but because you are owing your vendors and agents money. I've known the minister all his life. He's like a brother to me, and I know he means well. But at this point in time, I'm not very happy when people tell me what they are going to do. You have been minister for 6-7 months. Do it already. Without power, nothing will work in Nigeria. Quote me. That is the basis of our civilization. That's the basis for our whatever we are doing. Without power, nothing. And last year or 2 years ago, before Buhari left, when he gave the license for states to start generating, how many states have taken up the offer to weed themselves off the national grid? So the problem is at the top, it's in the middle, and with everybody else. This should not be news. What will be news is for the minister to tell us that yesterday, DISCO A, B, C, D were sanctioned for incompetence, and that this is the fine they are going to pay. That's what I want to hear. The heat in Lagos yesterday, is beyond the pale. Some people said I came back to Nigeria too soon.
But we're in a tropical region, so it's bound to happen anyway.
It's not terrible. The heat I saw yesterday, prisoners will revolt in some countries.
I don't even know how prisoners cope.
Seriously.
Because nobody gives them fun.
Yeah, and they are put together like sardines.
I prison recently in the Northeast. I can't talk about what.
No. Imagine.
But if I talk about it next time, they won't allow me to
come in, yeah. We need to solve this problem. It's not by threatening people. It's by doing the job.
Doing the job.
Sanction the person or the company. Let's have a list. Disco A has been sanctioned 2 billion. Disco B has been sanctioned 22 billion. That's what we want to know. People want light. They want power. They don't get it. And they don't want to listen to stories. It's unfortunate.
BK, from your own perspective, do you think perhaps the power minister needs to do more, taking a cue from what GKB has just highlighted so far?
Yeah, there are many reasons why discos are rejecting power. One of it is the fact that some of the equipment can't take all of what is transmitted. We need to continue to invest in transmission lines. We need to invest in what's it called, transformers and the rest of them. It's impracticable for them at this time to take everything that is sent to them. There are some communities where people don't pay. And if you go there to try to cut their electricity supply, they will beat the hell out of you. Now, if you are a disco, would you continue to send
your personnel
to people? I mean, we'll do something to give light to people who will not pay. It's one of the reasons they do it. Some have made up their mind they will not pay. So let's face it, some of the government ministries, Adelabu knows this now, some of the government ministries are owing so much money. Even Aso Rock was owing. The president just gave instruction that they should go and pay. The military, they are owing. Police, they are owing. Nobody wants to pay. Because we are military, nobody can come and cut our lights. They don't want to pay. It should be in your budget. What you want to spend on utilities and all that should be in your budget. And once it's approved, pay the service provider. But we don't want to pay. It's embarrassing to hear the level of indebtedness of Nigerian ministries, departments, and agencies. It's embarrassing. For many years, they didn't think they had to pay. It's embarrassing to hear that even Aso Rock, Aso Villa, they are owing. And the president said, go and pay. Hundreds of millions of naira. And you want the discourse to survive. Look, I don't like the discourse for the fact that they insist on estimated billing and all that. But Nigerians, many Nigerians are also energy thieves, bypassing meter to enjoy electricity for free. Those are part of the problems. I'm not speaking for them. Or if people want to interpret what I'm saying, okay, fine. But I know that they have reasons for not giving some people electricity. If you can't recover your money, would you continue to provide service? Why is the army complaining that their mortuaries, corpses are decomposing because they didn't give them light? Why are you not paying? Why should the army owe? Abi? So if you are owing now, you expect me to still continue to give you. Of course, I will not give you. I will not give you. So the problems, the minister has to come sit with these people. Enough of these excuses that he's giving. Call the stakeholders. How do we solve this problem?
Right.
There is a serious problem of gas to generating companies. That's why we are unable. How can a country like Nigeria, we are even struggling to generate 3,000 megawatts? 3,000. When Egypt is already in position to export, Egypt is planning to export electricity to some countries of Europe, like Cyprus. We are here
struggling.
We can't generate We have never generated 6,000 megawatts in this country.
When we tried it,
The highest that we
collapsed.
generated
Yeah.
was less than 6,000. And even when we generated, by the next day, there was system failure.
Collapsed totally.
Because some of the equipment need to be freshened up. It's a fact. The generating capacity that we have is above 10,000 megawatts. But we are only doing between 3,500 to 4,000 these days.
Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of problem that the minister needs to sit down and let's see how can we solve the matter of gas constraints. How do we help the GENCOs ensure that they have gas? Because if they don't have sufficient supply of gas, they can't generate. And if they don't generate, what is there to transmit?
It also bears the question that each state should also be independent to produce their own
No,
power.
they were given the...
You see, the law all along had not favored us. In the past, the law said if we generate anything above 50,000 megawatts, it must go to the national grid. So you see a state spend so much money to build a power plant, yet its own people cannot enjoy the power that is generated. Because once it's fed to the national grid takes, they will then decide where it goes. Every state should be able to develop at its own pace. If you have, like Lagos now, Lagos should have its own power company and transmit by itself.
Well, we have a law to that effect. The president had assented to that. So what stops the state from implementing it? When did they give assent? Oh, these things, they don't rush these things now. When did they give the assent? When did the president even come into office? It's not as if it's a long time ago. You know? States will do it, but on an incremental basis, they will plan. It's on a state, for example, that had power plant before. What do you expect them to do? Now build another one because they are not allowed to use their thing. I know that Akwa Ibom, they built a power plant. I know that Kwara, Bukola Saraki completed the power plant in Gomo. He paid the contractors. They left in anger. He called them back. He completed it. But go to Kwara now, you want to enjoy electricity. Sometimes I'm in alone to see my parents. We don't have light. So a lot has to change. It needs a conversation. All the stakeholders sit together. What can we do? We can't continue like this. There's no way the economy can grow when you don't have a constant electricity supply. Businesses are dying because they can't afford diesel. That's the conversation that I expect the minister to call. All this will let us talk. Right.
Instead of simply apportioning blames here and there. No, it won't take us anywhere.
Now, well, GKB, let's quickly go to sports. But this time around, the Old Trafford has reannounced itself as a theatre of dreams during the FA quarter-final clash on Sunday when Manchester United survived an onslaught from Liverpool after 120 minutes. Well, to discuss this further, I have our sports correspondent, Mien Akiri. Mien, I can imagine it was a thrilling encounter.
Well, it was huge for Manchester United. Let me say congratulations to Manchester United fans across the globe.
And in the studio too.
Well, in the studio too, okay. Thank you, Esther. But, you know, by and large, you don't just get maximum points or knock out a team like Liverpool in any competition. This is a team that is going for the quadruple. And if you also consider United a team that is trying up to pick up what I personally would describe as a disappointing season so far, going by the standard of Manchester United. Sixth on the Premier League table. The victory against Liverpool shows that there is some form of hope, you know, for the team. But I must say that I'm impressed with the young stars at Manchester United. The Ivorian, Amad Diallo, Garnacho, and Kobe Mainoo. These players, to a large extent, understand what it means to don the Manchester United jersey. And if you go by what these players have been doing, week in, week out, certainly he would be available because he'll be missing the next game after the international duty against Brentford or so. So good looking for United, so to say, as far as the FA Cup is concerned.
Really? My BKO, as a fan of Manchester United, I can imagine you can be very happy with the outcome of the game. What are your expectations from the team?
Yeah, I'm very happy. This is the biggest rivalry in the English game, and the two most successful clubs in the English game. Manchester United, 20 Premier League titles. Liverpool, 19 Premier League titles. Only one in the Premier League era. Which will tell you that it's a team that its successes were recorded in those days when dinosaurs ravaged the earth. But we are happy to beat them because when Virgil van Dijk was saying that only one team played like it wanted to win during the Premier League match at Anfield. We all felt insulted because he didn't remember that Liverpool only won a Premier League in 30 years. He conveniently forgot. And some of Liverpool's greats, like Jamie Carragher, they never won a Premier League in their lives. You know? So that was an act of disrespect. And the players paid him back yesterday. Manchester United was very worried. The best chances in the game came to Manchester United. First, we'll stand by this team, no matter what happens. We always rise to the occasion when it matters the most. When nobody was able to beat Arsenal, and they were boasting about the 49-0, it took a Manchester United to put
49 games unbeaten. They're still being held by Arsenal till date.
That 2-0, 2-0, that 2-0, we used it to stop the unbeaten run. This is the team capable of doing the impossible. A team ravaged by injuries, yet able to teach Liverpool a lesson. We beat them with 10 players. It's on record.
With some few seconds to go.
It's on record.
With some few seconds to go.
We beat them with 10 players.
The final 10 seconds of the game. 5 seconds of the game.
It's on record that it was 10 players.
I can never understand your Arsenal fan with all your passion.
But the truth is, I was impressed with United. But notwithstanding, I still have my worry.
Okay, which is?
Which is the consistency of Manchester United players, especially the older players. The older players are not leading by example. And with about 10 games to the end of the season, we've been hearing a lot about if Ten Hag's job is secured. I would agree with
You've not seen those who miss from that range.
I would agree with Jamie Carragher, who felt that Liverpool players, didn't come to the party.
People will find an excuse.
You could say that they were just two players to beat one, and on the 50-50 chance, you expected United to put that in the back of the net.
In a counter-attack, that boy, the same boy who robbed them of the ball in that counter-attack was the one who scored the goal.
Interesting, yes.
So give him credit and stop saying no. It's one against two.
I've said that.
From the range, from the point where he fired that shot, was an acute angle. The ball even hit the post.
He gave the defender a dummy. Good one.
Give him credit.
I'm giving him kudos.
Jamie Carragher can say what he likes. We are not a team that you will use your second team to beat. We are not Chelsea.
No, that wasn't Liverpool's second team. That was Liverpool's first team.
That's what I'm. Yeah, because they fielded their best. They still got beaten.
Let's state it obviously.
The perennial 11th place team. Now, the fact that you got
10th and 11th Avenue.
It's 11th now. Let's talk about what was.
Now we let's talk about what is happening now.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
But
because
I know
it's
United will still not win the FA Cup.
Okay,
we will come back to discuss that.
Yes, we will come back to this. We will come back to this.
I can also say that Arsenal may not win the Champions League. It's a possibility. The way you can say is the way I can say it.
All right.
My joy will be for Arsenal to win. I've said it publicly.
All right.
I pray that Arsenal wins.
Interesting.
From the bottom of my heart.
This is great. This is great.
I want Arsenal to win. I don't want Liverpool to win.
Okay.
If Liverpool wins, then it's 2020.
2020.
And I don't want that.
Okay.
I'd rather, once Arsenal wins, after such a long time, it gives us the confidence too that our own chance
Some days,
will come.
United, the glory days will come back.
All right, gentlemen, let's wrap up
Glory,
today's
United.
episode of Journalist Hangout. BKO, as usual, having your thoughts on this very interesting topic. Me and Akiri, thank you so much for your
Always a
insights.
pleasure.
And we had earlier on in the show, Gani Kayode Balogun. Thank you so much as well for your thoughts. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. For more, join us again tomorrow for another regular episode of the program. You can also watch a repeat broadcast tonight at 11. Join us again on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Esther Makwariola. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Biggest comedy show in Africa is back with a cultural phenomenon for our time. It's AY Live African All-Stars Edition on Easter Sunday, March 31st, featuring the comic geniuses from different parts of Africa. Salvador from Uganda, DKB from Ghana, Zimbabwean-born American, Alfred Kainga, Akporo, Acapella, Funny Bone, Koboko, MC Manika, Weymouth, and lots more. Hosted by the legendary AY. Musical performances by Casey, Pataranki, and other rave-making musical artists. Venue, Echo Convention Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. Show starts by 7 p.m. Ticket, regular 5,000 Naira, VIP 30,000 Naira, premium table 5 million Naira, and gold table 3 million Naira. Ticket outlet, all Abano supermarkets, all Tasty Fried Chicken outlets, or visit www.ariatickets.com. Please call 0704-921-5448. Powered by Revolution Plus Properties, Coleman Wires, packaged by Landray Macro Events, and proudly supported by
Now we are not the hurry go like say something they popular.
Ogala Lord, na favor with the sick so.
He did hospital with Mama Favor.
Favor get diphtheria. She dey.
Shebi you they carry a go take immunization.
Ogala Lord, pick up.
I never give a vaccination before.
But since we born Favor, we never carry and go collect immunization before.
Mama Favor na your friend. You know they tell her.
I tell him. Even self me and my husband follow you talk that time. You dey here when Joy, my sister, born. Every time he dey carry him pikin for immunization as he suppose. Even Joy follow collecting COVID vaccine that time.
Na the head of our pikins them we dey talk for here. If them no collect their immunization, as it suppose be, na their head we dey put for danger. So you no go follow no road.
If your pikin miss to collect any immunization, then go any health center to complete them. Make papa and mama them use that chance collect them COVID vaccine. Call 7722 for more information.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Today, there are many complex, boring, expensive, and useless exercise machines in the market. Or you pay over 400,000 Naira a year for gym membership and never go. ShopX TV is proud to introduce Total Crunch Evolution, the compact, versatile fitness solution that is perfect for you. With Total Crunch, you get a complete fitness workout in one machine. Say goodbye to ineffective and complicated exercise machines. Now, you have the power to transform your fitness journey and get the body you have always wanted right in the comfort of your own home. Total Crunch is the efficient and effective way to build muscle, tone and tighten your legs, shape your back and pectorals, while strengthening your core and defining your abs. Now that's totally effective to get the body you want. With Total Crunch, your whole body works out at the same time. Only Total Crunch can put your whole body in motion as you burn calories and lose weight. Just one fitness routine a week will achieve serious results in 4 weeks.
Total Crunch Evolution has enhanced the way I work out and the results I achieve. It's not just a fitness equipment, it's a life changer. This versatile, time-saving machine is perfect for anyone looking to lose weight or stay in shape. Trust me, this is a game changer you've been waiting for.
With my busy schedule, finding time to work out and stay in shape has always been a challenge until I discovered the Total Crunch Evolution. It's a lifesaver.
Traditional exercise equipment is large, complex, takes up so much space in your home, and you could be paying up to 400,000 naira for annual gym fees. Get the Total Crunch Evolution, the 2-in-1 fitness solution to save the cost and transform your body from the convenience of your home. Similar equipment costs 300,000 naira, but you can get the Total Crunch Evolution for not 300,000 naira, not even 200,000 naira. Order right now and get your Total Crunch Evolution for just 179,950 naira only. And that's not all. You can get our Total Crunch Evolution in 2 easy payments of 89,975 naira. That's right. Pay twice to get your Total Crunch. And remember, if you order now, you get the Total Crunch Evolution delivered to you for free anywhere you are in Nigeria. And it comes with a ShopEx 30-day money-back guarantee. Call the number on your screen now or scan the code to place your order now. But hurry, limited stock available. The proceeding is a paid presentation brought to you by ShopEx TV.
You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. We're continuing our conversation on the controversial 2024 budget and the impact on the Nigerian economy. And I'll be joined later on the show by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bakudu. Don't miss that interview. You can join the conversation right now on X. Remember to use the hashtag Beyond 100 Days and tag at TVC News NG. Let's begin with the 7-day warning strike embarked upon by members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, as well as the Non-Academic Staff Union, over unpaid 4-month salary, alleged unfair treatment, and what they call disparity in the payment of salaries by the federal government. Last Monday, the unions threatening to shut down hostels and power supply in universities across the country if the federal government fails to meet its demands before today. That's the 18th of March 2024. National President of SANO, Mohammed Ibrahim, said his members, including vice-chancellors, registrars and bosses, have not been paid 2022 arrears. So how will this end? Will the federal government accede to their expectations? Big questions on the program. And still talking education matters, remember the alleged certificate racketeering in Benin Republic, which came to the limelight earlier this year? The report led to the suspension of evaluation and accreditation of degree certificate from Niger, Togo, and Benin Republic by the federal government, pending the outcome of an investigation from a committee set up by the federal government to unravel the veracity of the case. But how far has the federal government gone on the matter, particularly the 12-member investigative panel set up to probe universities selling fake educational credentials to Nigerians? A leaked circular dated 12th of February 2024, sent from the Office of the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Benin Republic, to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Abuja, has now been published. The document revealed that the government of Benin Republic had majorly passed a vote of confidence on 38 listed universities, all of which they say conform with standard practice and are duly accredited. Let's talk a little about that on the show this evening. I'm joined by National Public Relations Officer of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Dr. Omoleye. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this evening. What has been the impact from the feelers you're getting from students outside the country? What has been the major impact of the suspension on their education?
Thank you so much for having me, Nifemi. It's my pleasure to be here. To start with, Nigerians and especially the students of Nigeria who actually graduated from institutions in the affected, blacklisted institutions within the Benin Republic, Togo, and Niger, are not actually living well because the present situation today, especially those that have graduated, as it is today, they are unable to go for NYSC service, which is National Youth Service Corps, which is expected of every student that has graduated from either polytechnic or university, whether within or outside the country. They have been deprived because of that particular directive from the Federal Ministry of Education. Also, those that are still in school today, as I speak to you, their future is still very unclear. They don't know what the future holds for them. And those, that are even done with the NYC, it is very clear too that any meaningful organization, either private or public, can actually engage them due to this directive. So the future is quite unclear for them. Looking up to the sky to see what tomorrow will actually bring to them. And going by the committee set up by the Federal Ministry of Education, alongside that of, which comprises, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, National Youth Service Corps, and the Department of State Security. We are here to hear from this particular committee set up to investigate and to also report back to the leadership of the ministry for them to take the way forward. The committee is here to send back their reports, and the future of these young people, like I said, is still very unclear at this very present moment.
That committee had 2 months, and that 2 months expired a few days ago. There's now a leaked document from the Office of the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research in Benin, which contains a list of accredited students who, according to them, have been accredited by the government. Why do you think government has been silent on this, and what are the students asking for?
Just like I mentioned, there is a committee which has been set up by the Federal Ministry of Education to investigate, to report back to the ministry. What the Benin Republic government has done through the Ministry of Education and Scientific Research is to just make the whole thing very clear and to also, build on the established, international relationship that exists between Nigeria and Benin Republic, which you and I know that a lot of investment has actually gone into the education sector in that particular country. While Nigeria is trying to put its house in order to make sure that whoever is coming in with certificate from external, from outside the country must actually have passed through the due process of acquiring those certificates. But also, the Benin Republic government has actually done the right thing, which will in turn help the committee set up by the Minister of Education in their investigation, by going to Benin Republic to also affirm that instead of coming to our country to come and do this investigation, we as a body, as a country, have the responsibility to tell you the exact situation of these institutions in our country. And going by that list in public, it's about 38 institutions, which 4 of the 38 are public institutions, while 34 are also private. So, to me, I strongly believe that the committee might not, the ministry might not have make any statement on that, because it will amount to a level whereby you've given a responsibility to a particular committee to carry out a responsibility. Yes, what the Benin Republic has done is just to, put the record straight and to also, send the signal.
All right. We have reached out to the Honorable Minister of Education, and we're hoping to be able to hear from him in the coming days. National Public Relations Officer, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Dr. Omolaye, thank you so much for talking to us.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you, Nifem.
Now, the allegation raised by suspended senator representing Bauchi Central Abdoningi on padding of the 2024 budget has been generating reactions from members of the National Assembly as well as civil society organizations. Some senators are beginning to disclose to Nigerians the amount they got for constituency project. Last week, I had Senator Mongunu, who mentioned that he got 300 million naira for his own constituency. What is the Bola Tinubu administration doing to curb the issue of budget padding and also in preferring solutions to the economic challenges in the country? I have Minister of Budget and Economic Planning of Nigeria, Atiku Bagudu, joining us after this break.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories.